What's up guys, my name is Tony, and today I'm going to give you a quick and painless guide on installing and customizing Fedora Linux. Since Fedora Linux follows a 6-month release cycle, it offers a great middle ground between stability and bleeding edge. This is a perfect distro for you if you're someone who wants up-to-date packages without worrying about breaking your system every other weekend. By the end of this video, you will no longer need to use Windows, and you'll be able to customize Fedora Linux on your own hardware. Let's head over to fedoraproject.org and navigate to Get Fedora and Spins and click KDE Desktop. We're going to go with KDE Plasma today since we already covered Ubuntu, which is flagshipped with GNOME, so if you're interested in GNOME, check out my Ubuntu installation video. We'll download this ISO and move on. There is a Fedora installation wiki, but since the installation wizard is basically a continue simulator, we won't be using this guide today. This video is more about what to do after you've installed Fedora to make your system more usable and efficient. Once we have our USB live image booted up, we're going to navigate to Start Fedora on this grub screen and hit enter. Alright, we see this Plasma installation screen, and we can just click install to hard drive, and we're using English, so click continue. And we're going to want to click this installation destination button, and we'll do automatic today. And for the root account, we're going to enable a root account. Password we're going to do 123, and we can ignore this. And we'll create a user. And we do want to make sure we are added to the wheel group, so we'll keep this box checked. And we can ignore this password warning again, hit done here. Alright, let's change the host name here to Fedora BTW, because I'm using Fedora, by the way. Alright, looks good to go. So let's begin the installation. Alright, that's complete, so we can go ahead and finish the installation. And we can close that, and we can just go ahead and restart. And there we see the SDDM greet screen, so go ahead and type our password here. And there we go. Fedora is installed. So you're staring at the screen and it kind of looks like a desktop environment. I mean, you got the toolbar here, you got some icons, you've got the clock, and you're thinking, great, yeah, this looks great. But this isn't really usable for someone like me, so let's jump right into the config and show you kind of what I would do to make this more efficient. So the very first thing we're going to do this time around is set up our keybinds early, because we're going to be opening and closing programs often, and I want that to be as fast and efficient as possible. So let's set that up. We can use the super key here and search keyboard, and just hit enter. And that'll open up this keyboard menu. So we'll go to shortcuts. And first thing we're going to do is take a look at Dolphin here. And we see it's Meta E here, which is just Super E, which that's okay for some folks, but I'm going to uncheck that. And I'm actually just going to put Super F here because F is files for me. So I'm used to hitting Super F to open the file manager. And we'll go ahead and go down to KRunner here. And KRunner is KDE Plasma's application launcher, and that's similar to something like Rofi, which is what we set up last time on our Linux Mint system. So we'll use this out of the box, and we'll just change the keybind here. We're going to change that to Super D, and we are going to confirm to reassign this because we don't need to peek at the desktop. Uncheck that. And console is the name of the terminal emulator that ships by default with KDE Plasma, so let's swap that out with Super Enter. Uncheck that, and I don't see Firefox here, so we're gonna have to add that one here. So we'll click Add New, click Application here, and search for Firefox. There it is. We'll click that and hit OK. And we're just gonna launch this with Super B for browser. And that one's currently assigned, and again, we can just reassign that because we don't care about this profile of power management. Alright, we just need to do two more things here. So let's head down to KWin, which is the window manager. And just for logout, we'll hit Super Shift Q, which is what I'm used to on window managers. You can pick whatever you want for this. And then we'll go to this KWin here, and we'll scroll down to Maximize Window. And we're going to change that to Super Shift F. And that's going to allow us to maximize our windows with a keybind here. Page up is just way too far for me, so let's disable that. And the very last thing we need to do is change the close window here to Super Q, and we'll confirm to reassign that and uncheck that. And I know Alt F4 is something that you're used to if you're coming over from Windows, and that's fine, but for me, again, F4 is just so far away from Alt that it's just not efficient enough for me since I'm going to be closing Windows a lot. We are good with that, so let's go ahead and hit apply here, and we'll close that for the very last time by clicking on it. And let's test some of these keybinds. So Super Enter, and there we go. There's that terminal. Let's try to close that. And Super Q, and there we go. Got the browser here, Firefox, and there you go. You love to see that corporate art, and we'll go ahead and take care of that later. Don't worry. But let's snap that to the right, and let's open the File Explorer with Super F, and there you go. One more test here. We'll do Super Shift F to maximize that, and perfect. All right, so we got a pretty efficient system already out the gate, which, I mean, if you want to just end the video here, you're already going to be ahead of 95% of people who are installing Fedora, so it's just going to get better from here. So let's move on to the next step. We are going to be using the terminal a lot here, so let's customize it. Let's open that with Super Enter, and let's make that full screen with Super Shift F. Alright, the big 3 pain points for me that I immediately notice are these unnecessary menu bars at the top, this unnecessary scroll bar on the right, and the font size. So let's just get rid of these menus immediately by right-clicking this toolbar setting, unchecking Lock Toolbars. Right-click it again, go down to Toolbars Shown, and uncheck Main. Right-click it one more time, and then uncheck Session Toolbar. Alright, that looks immediately better. And yeah, you may be thinking, where's the menu button? But again, beautiful thing about console is now we have access to it just by right clicking. So here's that menu, and we'll open up settings and configure console. Alright, we immediately see all these settings here, and we can run through some of these, and we'll go ahead and uncheck remember window size, since we have these keybinds now to maximize and snap windows, so we don't need that. And let's go to profiles, and we're going to go ahead and add a new profile here. I'm going to name that Tony. We'll go ahead and go to appearance. We do want to choose a font here, and again, we're going to also add a custom font later, so let's just stick with this for now, but we do want to edit the size here, so we'll go ahead and put that at 16 for me since I am making this video. We'll click OK on that. We will click edit on this color scheme here just so we can add some transparency for now, and let's just put it at around 10% and click apply here. And under miscellaneous, let's uncheck this box so we don't see any pixel hint whenever we load up the terminal. We'll go to scrolling, and we'll check hidden here for scroll bar position. Now again, that allows us to still scroll, we just don't see this unnecessary scroll bar. Alright, we can hit OK and accept all those settings. I'm going to set that as the default, and OK there. And let's quit this, and let's open that with Super Enter. There we go. That already looks a lot better. We see the transparency, we see the font size, and those bars are gone, scroll bars are gone. Yeah, this is starting to look good. Maximize that, Super Shift F, move on to the next step. DNF is the package manager for Fedora, and we'll be using this to install packages and programs today. The beauty of Linux in general is that I can install programs straight from the command line with very basic syntax, and I don't have to go to some sketchy website and ensure I've unchecked every extraneous box just so that I can install whatever program the minimal way. I know tools like Ninite exist, and that's great, but this is just way easier for me, and I think you guys are going to love this aspect of Linux. So one quick tip for anybody who's kind of new to Linux is that there are manuals for all of these programs, and you can access them by just typing man and then the name of the program. So let's do that right now for DNF by typing man space DNF. And it opens up this manual that you can scroll through or search in the terminal. So if you ever don't know what the program does or what arguments you need to pass into it, you can just run the man command to access this information. And this is great, but even for this, we're going to install a program that makes this information a lot more digestible. And that program is called TLDR. So to install that, let's type sudo dnf install TLDR. And this is the first time I'm running a sudo command here on Tony, so let's type that password. Alright, let's confirm that with Y, enter, because the default is N, which is no on Fedora, but that's okay. Alright, that's installed, so let's clear that, and let's go ahead and type TLDR -- update. So that created a cache in my home folder, so we can clear that, and let's test that out by running TLDR DNF. And there you go. It really just gives me a TLDR of that man command, which is perfect for someone like me who just wants to see a couple examples and how to really use it. So for example, if I want to run info on a package, this is great because TLDR tells me, there it is, DNF info package. So let's run that. Let's run DNF info TLDR. And there we are. It tells us pretty much everything we would ever need to know about this package. And it's written in Rust, by the way. Alright, let's clear that. And we do want to update and upgrade our system here, guys. So if you're coming over from, let's say, Ubuntu or Arch or what have you, and you don't know the syntax to update your packages, beautiful thing is we can run TLDR DNF, and we see it's simply sudo DNF upgrade. So let's run sudo DNF upgrade. And this is 958 packages. So I'm going to hit yes. This is going to take a long time, so I will see you in a minute. Alright, that took about 5 minutes or what have you for me, so let's clear that terminal. And let's jump right into the next step here, guys. Alright, now that those packages are up to date, let's go ahead and grab a few more programs. So we're going to want a text editor, so I'm going to go with Vim today. We do need to end the video at some point, so let's grab Afetch, and let's grab Git just in case we want to clone any repositories and build something from source. And we can install all those by typing sudo dnf install Vim, Afetch, and Git. And remember to hit Y here, guys, and then enter. There we go. Alright, let's move on to the next step here, guys, and that's going to be to rice our bash a little bit here. The terminal is running bash, which is just a shell scripting language, and we can customize that pretty easily, so that's exactly what we're going to do. To edit your bash configuration file, we can just type vim.bashrc. This file is run every time you open a terminal, so let's add a command to the very bottom of this file so that that command is also run whenever we open a terminal. And we can do that by hitting Shift-G to get to the bottom of the file, and we'll hit O to enter a new line in insert mode, and let's type afetch. We'll go escape :WQ to write and quit that file, and let's reopen the terminal here and see what that does. Super Q to quit the terminal, and super enter. There you go. We have our afetch. And we see we've got 2200 packages, which is a lot more than we had on Linux Mint, and definitely a lot more than we had on Gentoo. So if you're more interested in a minimal type distro, I would recommend checking out my Arch, Artix, or Gentoo installation guides. Alright, let's keep going with bash. Let's maximize that terminal. One command you may often run is cat, which just prints the contents of whatever file is passed into it. As a matter of fact, let's just run TLDR on cat. Kind of talk about it while you look at the TLDR of it. This just prints out the contents of whatever file is passed into it, so if you ever want to look at a file without opening it with Vim or Emacs or what have you, you can just run cat on it. Let's test that out. Let's cat our bashrc here. And that's alright, but there is a nicer option that I like to use called bat. So let's install it by typing sudo dnf install bat. I think I've said this a few times here, guys, but remember to hit Y to confirm that. That's complete. Let's go ahead and take a look at the difference between cat and bat here, guys. Alright, so let's run bat on our bashrc now. You see that looks a lot cleaner. It's got syntax highlighting, it's got line numbers, it's got etc. So, nice. And aliases is the next thing we're going to jump into. Since cat is a common command that you may run, let's go ahead and replace that in our bashrc with bat by typing vim.bashrc. And we're already at the bottom line here, guys, so let's just hit Shift-O to go up one line and enter insert mode. And we'll type alias space cat equals quote bat quote, and we'll escape that :WQ to right quit that file. And you can either close the terminal and reopen it, which is going to be blazingly fast with our keybinds, but just to show you another option, that's going to be sourcing that file with source.bashrc. Alright, we'll clear that. And to test if that worked, let's type cat.bashrc again, and as you can see, it's actually running bat on our bashrc here because that's the alias. And we are in an inception moment here, guys, because we did run cat to see an alias. And you can see the alias with the command that you just ran. So are we in a dream or... Okay, let's move on. Another command you may run often is called ls. And that just lists all the files in your current directory, and that's fine, but for me, I like to use an alternative tool called EZA. So let's clear that, and let's install EZA by typing sudo dnf install EZA. Y enter, and there you go. And for EZA, I like to run EZA-L for long and -- icons. And this already looks a little bit better, but we're missing those icons, so we do need to install a font that has these icons in them, so let's do that. For DNF, as we saw by running TLDR DNF, you're able to search for any packages. If you don't know the complete package, but you do know a keyword in that package, you can just run DNF search and it'll search the repositories for that package. So let's do that. Let's run DNF search. And the thing I need is a nerd font, so let's type nerd. And there it is. It's Cascadia Mono NF fonts, a monospaced font family with the nerd font symbols, which we need for those icons to work. So let's actually just grab this here by highlighting this portion, and we'll hit Control-Shift-C to copy that. We can clear that now, and we can run sudo dnf install, and we can just paste it with Control-Shift-V, and that looks good, so let's run that. Alright, let's hit yes to continue, and there we go. Alright, so let's quit the terminal here and reopen it with Super Q and Super Enter. Make that thing full screen again. And now EZA with the icons should actually just work. So let's type EZA-L -- icons. And beautiful. There are those icons. So let's make ls point to EZA in the same way that we made cat point to bat. So we'll type vim.bashrc. We'll hit O to enter a new line in insert mode. We'll type alias ls equals quote EZA-L for long -- icons. And end quote, escape :WQ to save that file. Let's source that bashrc file again, but this time we're just going to close the terminal and reopen it. And there we go. And test that right now by running ls. Beautiful. ls is now pointing to EZA. Perfect. And one more alias you guys may want if you're coming over from something like Arch Linux is it's going to be an alias to update your package manager here. So let's do that here. Let's do vim.bashrc. We'll do one more alias by hitting O again and typing alias syu equals quote sudo dnf upgrade end quote, and drop a comment if you use Arch, by the way, because you're going to know why we used syu there. Escape :wq, save that file, source it one more time by running source.bashrc, clear that. And now we can type syu, get our password in there, and there we go. It's running DNF upgrade, which is perfect for us. All right, let's move on to the next step. Let's quit the terminal and open up Firefox here by typing super Q to quit the terminal and super B for that browser. And we see this beautiful corporate art, and we are reminded of the good old days of being forced to run bloated software on our systems. Let's go ahead and fix that by searching for archinfox user.js. Click that first GitHub link. Firefox by default is spyware. It collects telemetry data and fingerprinting data and connects to Mozilla services like Pocket and Studies by default, which can compromise privacy. And in order to disable all of those settings, since there are so many of them, it's just so much manual labor to comb through them one by one and check and uncheck various benign options to optimize it. So we're going to leverage the work that's already been done by Archinfox here. Archinfox's hardened user.js configuration disables telemetry by default, it blocks fingerprinting and resists all that tracking, so it's really going to enforce a strict privacy setting on our Firefox. It's very simple to install. All we need to do is click on this user.js file and we'll navigate here and download that raw file. We'll open that in Dolphin. I'll tab here and get back into Firefox for a second, and we'll get the directory of where we need to drop that file by typing about:support. And we'll scroll down and we see right here is that profile directory. So we can just hit open directory and snap that to the right, and we'll snap this to the left. And this is as simple as literally dragging this file and dropping it in here. Just click move here. All right, let's quit that, and quit that. See if that worked. Super B to reopen Firefox. And there we go. Beautiful case hardened Firefox. One more thing that's in my mind mandatory to make Firefox usable is installing an ad blocker. So let's go ahead and do that by searching uBlock origin. Get that uBlock origin link there, get uBlock origin, add to Firefox, continue to installation, click add, and click OK, which was, again, 5, 6, 7 clicks. They make it really hard for you to do that because, and again, I'm not going to jump into why, just going to end that with no comment, but there we go. We've got uBlock origin, we've got Archinfox. I think we're ready to move on to the themes. Alright, let's start ricing our theme a little bit here, and we're going to use the Tokyo Night theme today because I think it looks pretty good, so let's go ahead and do that. And first thing we're going to do is open this settings menu here, and we'll go down to appearance, check dark, which is already a huge upgrade, and we'll click extensions and themes. And you've got some good options here out the gate, but we're going to go with that Tokyo Night theme, so let's search Tokyo Night. And we'll scroll down to this one right here. It's got 5 stars, 754 users. Click install theme, continue, add, and there we go. Just gonna need a couple more Tokyo Night themes for some of our applications, so close that, close that, close that, and search for Tokyo Night KDE Theme. It's gonna be that first GitHub link. We'll go ahead and click this Tokyo Night colors, and let's download that raw file. We'll save that. We'll save that in our downloads folder for now, and we can quit Firefox for now. Let us open a terminal here. And we need to make a directory so that we can tell KDE to look for this theme. So let's do that by typing mkdir.local share color schemes and hit enter. And let's move that theme file in there by typing mv D downloads Tokyo Night.colors, and that's going to be moved to .local share color schemes. Alright, we can quit that, and let's open KRunner with super D, and let's search for colors. Hit enter there, and there we go. Tokyo Night is available. Just apply that. Beautiful. Alright, let's quit that. And let's grab an icon pack that suits the Tokyo Night style. But let's get one that's straight from the DNF repository. Let's do DNF search Papyrus. And there it is, Papyrus icon theme. So we'll type sudo DNF install Papyrus icon theme. Let's get all of them. That may take a minute. Alright, let's quit that. Let's use KRunner again to search for icons. Hit enter there. And there we go, Papyrus dark. Let's apply that. Awesome, that looks better. Let's go back here. We'll go to fonts here. Let's just change this to that nerd font we downloaded. That's Cascadia Mono nerd font, and I'm going to upgrade the font size to 12. Apply that. Alright, this system is already looking great. A couple more things we need to do here. Let's change that wallpaper. Let's search wallpaper in KRunner. And KDE actually comes with quite a bit of good wallpapers out of the box, so we're not going to need to download anything today. But I think this summer 1 a.m. is perfectly contrasted with the Tokyo night style we've got going, so let's hit apply on that. I'm going to quit that. Oh, that looks beautiful. Got a terminal open. Got our case Harden Firefox open. Alright, it's looking great. Last thing I think we need to do is customize this bar here. So we'll right click that and we will do show panel configuration. And for me, I want to put that on the top, so let's change the position to top. And I'm really going to get rid of a lot of this stuff here, so I don't actually need almost any of this. So I'm just going to remove that and we'll right click this and we'll do show panel configuration again for that. So we can remove pretty much all this stuff here. I don't need the application launcher because we've got KRunner. I really don't need the system tray, but that might be something you guys want to keep. I do need the clock. I don't need that peak at desktop. But yeah, this is something that you guys can definitely customize to your own needs here. Let's add a spacer here so I can center this down this side, and we'll make that a flexible size because I know that's going to be around 850 pixels here. And there we go. Looks great. I think we're all set on this, so we can exit edit mode. And there you go. Beautiful minimal setup here. We've got all of our keybinds, we've got our terminal, we've got Firefox that's been case hardened, we've got binds to make these full screen, we can quit them fast if we want, we can snap that to the right if we want to, we can quit that. And yeah, this system is definitely usable for me. And that is going to wrap up the Fedora installation and customization video. So if you have any other distributions you want me to check out and customize or help install, just drop it in the comments and I'll put it in the pipeline. Alright guys, thank you so much for checking out this video, and again, it would not be a video without a proper ending, and that's going to be a Neofetch. And yeah, I did sneak that into the install without telling you.